Now is it?
It's just sitting down. I don't play well. Josh, go sit down.
He told me to leave this in here. I was trying to get out of here.
Alright, which just happens just in case I need to work something out. Yeah, we're live.
Woo! We ready out here. Let's do it. Let's start this off.
Black leather glove, no sequin.
Hey.
Buckles on the jacket, it's elite shit.
Hey.
Nike crossbody got a piece in.
Hey.
Gotta dance, but it's really on some street shit.
Corona.
I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up.
Virus
left
podcast.
Foot left foot up, right foot slide.
Doing it for the
See
culture.
what I'm saying? Either way, we bout to slide. Hey, can't let this one slide. Hey. Don't you wanna dance with me? No, I could dance like Michael Jackson.
What's that, Jerry?
What that energy? Yeah, Jerry out here.
It's a thriller in the track.
Hey. Hey.
Don't you wanna dance?
What's going on, Jerry?
You ready to start this thing?
We ready. I'm ready, man. I'm built ready.
Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from Sugar Hill, Georgia. Here are my co-hosts, Mr. Jason Allen on my right, Mr. Travis Butler on my left.
Yeah.
We're being brought to you by the Playbook. Follow us on Twitter at Playbook Athlete. So what's going on? Talk to
Hey,
me.
I'll tell you, y'all see this new energy from me. I'm energized because mine's been in the house for
that
like
what it
6
is?
days, 7 days straight. So for me,
Oh,
I get to get out here and get the little flexing out here. You know what I'm
wait a
saying?
minute. Are your kids at home?
They were in Florida all week.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, if your kids been in Florida,
Yeah.
and you been in the house with the wife the whole week. I mean,
Don't get me
that's a whole
twisted.
other, that's a whole other story, right?
It
there.
was a lot of LL. We call that leftover lust.
Oh,
There was a lot of that going on. But the point is, once in a while, I want to kick it with the fellas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How I'm ahead? I gotta talk that talk.
First of all, this is a family show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. Sorry.
And then number two, I ain't trying to hear that myself.
Hey, look here,
Under
man.
no circumstance.
What Heavy D said? Overweight level Heavy D. Come on now.
Oh, my
Overweight
God.
level Heavy J. We out here.
Man, I'm glad this tea is hot.
We was practicing on that third, boy. Only practice though, cause I ain't got the money for a third one.
Wow.
I mean,
Anyway.
how are you doing? I mean, how are you experiencing this lockdown?
Dude, let me tell you something. I mean, here's my thing. As a single man, especially, this lockdown ain't nothing for me.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, because at the end of the day, I'm living the same life I lived before the lockdown.
Okay.
I mean, all I ever did was go to the grocery store, go to QT, go to Home Depot, go to Walmart. All them places still open.
Oh, well, you act like you're a senior citizen.
So I am a senior
Did they
citizen.
help you with your groceries?
I am a senior
Put
citizen.
it in the bag?
Always. When I go to Publix, I always had to carry my groceries.
You stronger than everybody in that store combined. And you're like, nah, bro, I need you to take this to the car.
That's
for
right.
me.
Take that.
That's
No,
right.
you and you.
Yeah.
You just did it for that 85-year-old lady. You gonna do it for me? No, but I mean, seriously. Other than me not being able to go check out a movie or doing something like that, it's been pretty much the same. Because all the stuff I like to do is, work out. You know that. And like to go to restaurants. Now the restaurant thing's kind of messing with me a little bit.
That's true.
Cause I'm a restaurant guy. I like to go to restaurants and I have my favorites, and some of them I'm still trying to hit up. Guys, if you can, patronize these restaurants. I know mama's in there trying to cook and do all this, but I mean those restaurant folks need some money.
Help
I
them.
mean
Right.
they need our help. So if you're that person who went to a restaurant a couple times a week, go back to doing that and make sure that they get that support, because a lot of folks gonna go out of business if we don't do that. And then when it opens back up, you're gonna want to go to restaurants and there's not gonna be anybody there.
Right.
So we need to definitely try to make that happen. Mm-hmm. So
I put up there, is basically his coach a senior.
I ain't know
put
that.
that up there.
Yeah, I'm a senior.
Miss
I'll
PB
take
said
that.
hi.
Hey, Miss Peavy.
Miss OJ just showed up. Jerry's on the line, so we got a packed house in
There
here.
you go. That's good. That's good stuff.
Oh man, it's 50-50 for yes and no's right now for Are You a Senior?
I'm a senior.
So we do have some updates, guys, when it comes to the circumstances going on with the country. Ms. Peavy, we are taking your advice. This will be the last in-house show for a little bit. We will go to Zoom and do some recording there. We will send out some links to select few people so that you can join us on Zoom if you want as well, listen to the show. But we're going to go to more of a pre-recorded show where we're going to do 40 minutes of the show, put it up on Facebook and YouTube so you still can enjoy it, but it won't be as live and interactive as it is now. So, I mean, it's just for the safety of my kids and family, as well as Coach's kids and family, as well as Travis and his wife as well. We want to make sure everything is safe as possible, and we've been talking about safety for forever when it comes to sports, this climate and everything, so it's time for us to kind of start practicing a bit.
Yep.
So, but we'll give you guys more details as the weeks go on. We're still going to bring you straight from the hip. We spent about almost close to an hour before the show started filming content, and when the show ends, because we're going to end a little earlier today, we're going to film some more content, so we're still going to give you us and us clowning and having a good time. It's just going to be a little bit harder, because now for us to get your questions and answer them, we're going to have to be more diligent in giving you guys a platform to get those questions to us, and we'll work that out. And so, again, it's going to be a little adjustment like we all are dealing with, but I just want to let you guys know this will be the last live in-house show with all three of us sitting here together for a little bit, and then once things ease up a bit, we'll come back and start doing it again out here in Sugar Hill.
Now, the treat that you get
Okay.
is that we're going to be doing things independently.
Yes.
And so you actually be able to get deeper
right.
into the mind of the master. So just so you know that, that's a little treat that I'm going to throw in as a little caveat for you.
But that means we also can get deeper into the mind of Travis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I pretty much run the Instagram over here. So, which by the way, I was about to say, if you aren't on Instagram, we of course do have an Instagram. That would be one of the platforms that we're using. I know some of the regulars aren't on that yet. If you are on Instagram, please like us.
Right.
We are going to be posting stuff more regularly on Instagram, especially on times like these. This is the last one we're going to be.
Yeah,
and as it pertains to Travis, when you get deeper into that mind, have a piece of cheese for that rat that's in there turning that wheel in his brain to keep it working, functioning properly.
Yeah. Well, since nobody asked me how I was doing at the beginning of the
show.
show.
We were getting there. We just wanted to give out the thing,
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't care. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. I had a pretty good weekend. This coronavirus stuff really hasn't affected me at all because I am an essential worker, so I'm still out and about doing my thing every day. So I go to work, come back home from work, do all my stuff.
You probably one of them asymptomatic cats that the government didn't know about.
I don't
No,
think
probably so.
That's you probably giving it to everybody you come in touch with.
Jerry, get your governor, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get your governor, man.
Yeah. Bless his heart. Just tell him to read his memos. Just tell him to do that.
Oh, and so speaking of it, WrestleMania was this
I
weekend.
was just about to bring that up. Yep.
And
Nobody
WrestleMania
cares
was
about
in an
WrestleMania.
empty arena. Hold on, but I want to go to a
yourself.
bigger point. WrestleMania was in an empty arena,
Yep.
which had some challenges. So this is probably the first taste that we all have gotten of
Empty
entertainment, sport kind of quasi
Yeah.
thing with an empty arena.
If you haven't been watching AEW and NXT on a regular basis.
Right. But I mean like a major event kind of thing.
Major event.
It gave me opinions about if I want to see my sports played like this. So I'll kind of just jump right into it. I enjoyed WrestleMania, but I admit that the lack of crowd involvement kind of killed a lot of what we thought would have been better matches.
No doubt.
And so I definitely feel like if we're going to do sports without crowd involvement, TV-wise, you have to do something. I don't know if you
Tighten it up.
mic the players up more,
Yeah.
or do you have some kind of something has to happen that's going to make it. Maybe you pipe in sound. I don't know. But it felt like something was missing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I mean, I guess some sports are better than no sports.
Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like it was an odd feel when there was no crowd there.
No
What
doubt.
do you guys think?
No doubt. I'm not crazy about it. I can tell you that right now. I'm old school. Very old fashioned. Y'all know that. So I think it changes the whole scope of the game.
Right.
I mean, one of the reasons why the Seattle Seahawks, they're high on the crowd noise.
12th man.
And they got, they out there raising the roof and they're showing how many decibels you're getting and all that. And those folks make it where you can't even as an opposing team hear anything.
Right.
And that kind of goes out the window, when you don't have anybody there. So I like to have the crowd involvement.
Right now, the polls up to 50-50 for Coach, you being a senior citizen. So
that's all right.
The public's still split.
That's all right.
It's like the country.
Well, I'll be one day older tomorrow, so maybe that'll turn the tide.
What about you, Travis? I mean,
So,
can we deal with sports with no fans?
I can. I can watch sports whenever. It doesn't make a difference to me.
you
I
did.
enjoyed WrestleMania. I thought it was fine Saturday and Sunday.
First of all, let's stop that, because that ain't no sport. That's entertainment. We already know who's going to
It's
win
sports entertainment.
before it starts.
So anyway, I enjoyed it. Would it have been nice to have the fans there? Yeah, but I would rather watch it than not without sport or without fans than have nothing at all. I feel the same way about I feel like if there's a way you could do baseball without any fans and just have, teams, and basketball, they're talking about the same thing. I would be okay with that because I want to have something to watch. Does it make a difference? Yes, but I would still watch it okay, and I would feel that it lessens a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make a difference.
Hold
to
on,
me.
but you were the same guy that said, hold on.
It lessens a lot of it.
You were the same guy that the week before was saying they just need to cancel WrestleMania. Yeah, you sat here and that's what you said.
Yeah,
Like,
then
they
I
need to
watched
cancel
it, and then I watched it, and then I watched WrestleMania.
So you changed your mind.
And it was fine. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
All right.
I disagree with you saying that it doesn't have that big of an impact, because it's a huge impact. I can tell you that. From somebody who's played it and somebody who's been there. And even like LeBron said that, when you go in to play an opposing team at their house, it's not just about beating the team. It's about shutting up the fans. And that's part of your drive. That's part of your goal is we're going to have that place so quiet because we're going to be beating the brakes off these shows. I mean, that's part of the game plan. Is to remove the fans immediately.
Well, let's
I
go
agree with
to
that.
let's jump out of that one because I think we're about to go down a rabbit hole. You say it doesn't make a difference. He's saying it does.
Yeah.
Let's just jump. Let's not go down that rabbit hole, especially for a shorter show today. We can save that for off the mic, and we can continue this for recording in the future. Speaking of LeBron, do you feel like a lot of these NBA athletes, especially, don't want the season to even continue? Because I feel like LeBron's statements are statements of a lot of players that if we can't do it with the fans or how it's supposed to be, why even do it? Now, none of them said cancel the season, but I have heard none of them go, yeah, I'm cool with doing it with an empty arena. Let's play the games. Like, everybody seems different.
LeBron just being a spoiled brat. I mean, that's
Caring about the fans?
That's just LeBron being LeBron. No, it's not about caring about the fans. My whole thing is this. I care about the fans too, and I'm speaking on behalf of the fans too. I think they need to be there. But my whole thing about it is that if they say, listen, the league has decided that this is what we're going to do, I think he needs to just jump on board and stop saying, well, if we're going to play like that, I don't even want to play.
Well, he's come back and reneged. I'm saying the recent statements he made was just saying that the reason why he made those statements is because he feels the NBA, compared to all other sports, is a very fan-centric sport. And that part of the appeal of the NBA is that you literally sit 1 foot away from the players and the athletes and everything when you sit on the front row, and like that playing without the fans in the arena is kind of cheating the fan experience kind of thing.
I hear you.
Now, I know that's corporate answer, but go ahead,
Yeah,
Travis.
and there ain't but 30 people to get to sit that close. But anyway, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, I get what he's saying, but especially in something like basketball, every basketball player's played a pickup game in an empty arena gym or at in a maybe not a gym, but a basketball court outside with just them and their buddies. So and they played their game and they were able to do that. So why? I understand it's a health concern. That's why they can't do it now.
Well, also one is you playing a game with your buddies. The other one is a guy that's making millions of dollars, who has an owner who makes billions of dollars, who has TV contracts that give them millions of dollars to pay these players. I'll go
a step further than that. That's why they call it the show. I mean, you worked your entire life to make it to the show, so that you can play in front of 50,000 people.
Right.
I mean, that's why. I mean, that's hell. If I wanted to do that shit, I could have just stayed out at Rucker Park.
That's like saying
and played ball.
I could be in a Hollywood movie, or I could be my local theater and be fine with it. Like
either way is good. Either way is good. I mean, that's why you've done this, and this is what you. Driven and sacrificed for and everything else to get to this point, and now they got you playing in front of nobody. I mean, it's even worse than Rucker, because at least out there at Rucker Park they had some girls up in the stands watching. Yeah,
right.
I mean, come on now.
All right, so I mean, I'm not going to put up a poll. Do you guys think that sports should be played in an empty arena? I know Jerry commented about how we touched on NASCAR and the esports and all that. He said, "Would you be fine with other sports going to the esport model
No.
and doing it?"
Basketball is doing it right now.
Like a tournament for charity,
They're doing
yeah.
a tournament thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, NFL. I think I read the same thing.
But here's
they're
my
talking about
thing.
doing it with Madden too.
Here's my thing about this. Understand this. When you have that car and they're in that simulator, they say that simulator is really like driving the car.
Right, right.
When you pushing them buttons on there, it ain't really like shooting no jump shot.
Right.
And it's not really like going up and dunking over somebody and all that other kind of stuff. So that's two totally different. You can't even compare the two of those things. That simulator, and I've seen pictures of them in that simulator, it's like really driving a car. You know, as far as changing gears and all that other stuff. That's nothing like when you're on that. You never see somebody in these basketball games where somebody got something on, like doing like this on a controller, and that controls how far it is. That's two totally different things. That shouldn't even be talked about.
Okay, well, just a question on Jerry. All right, so
Well, real quick about the simulator, there was something that happened in the NASCAR virtual race that they had. One of the drivers that was in it, Bubba Wallace, is a NASCAR driver, and he was in the virtual simulation and I guess crashed, had some type of technical malfunction which caused him to crash and get out of the race. And he started, because he's on camera, doing this, he started cussing, using profane language, this, that, and the other. One of his sponsors that he has on a regular basis with his actual car heard about it and said, we're backing out of our contract and we're dropping you out of there.
Well, they should have had a microphone in his car a long time ago.
I said
they dropped him a long time
ago. All right,
ago.
NFL draft. The NFL says they're going to continue to go on with it. Do you agree with that decision? Yes, no, indifferent? And do you foresee that they will now no longer be in the same building, possibly, let's say, connection or internet issues causing some kind of disruption with the draft?
Well, they showed a lot about that today. I know they showed several places where they are proposing to have it. And in a lot of those places, I mean, they have got experts of Wi-Fi and this and that and other, making sure that all the connections are in. There's one team, I can't remember who it was, who's going to rent a hotel, the entire hotel.
Yeah, that's what I heard, yeah.
Going to rent out an entire hotel. And so they're having wires put in there and all kind of extra backups and this and that and other to make sure that technology is in place where they won't miss a beat as far as how fast they're getting information and how fast information's being, disseminated in and out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be kind of crazy.
So I actually had heard on the radio today that, I don't know if this was a report that's out, but Roger Goodell came out and said that the NFL, are not going to allow teams to get together, because some teams have that advantage that they could do that, and some teams like the Giants and the Jets, of course, can't do that. They're in strict lockdown, so they're going to be doing the draft completely online, but everyone is in their own individual house.
Right.
So that they're not going to be able to get together. And so, you're going to have, for the Falcons, let's say, Dan Quinn's going to be at his house phoning, Thomas Dimitroff, who's phoning on another phone with Blank.
Arthur Blank just went out of Home Depot. That's essential.
Or get on Zoom. Just get everybody on Zoom and everybody be on the.
But I'm just saying,
at the same time.
And that's more technology issues, and then it's probably going to take them more time to
Well, trust me.
we lay
Trust
that
me.
information.
One of them
to
jokers
the
gonna call
NFL.
Bill Gates and gonna figure out how to do it a whole lot faster than everybody else.
Here's the question that needs to be asked, though. You can get into people's internet connections and get into people's phones and their connectivity.
Sure you can.
I'm not talking about the Patriots, but let's talk about teams that have been sketchy. Do you think that's something that can happen? I mean, remember the old adage about
Of course
that
it is.
Bill Walsh used to, when he played home games versus the Giants, he would make sure like the mics and the headsets didn't work.
Yeah.
So they had to go to calling the plays in, which
Yeah.
Bill Walsh would practice all week with Montana.
Yeah.
And Parcells came to him and said, "Hey, if this happens again, I'm gonna report you to the league." Well, if you mess up someone's draft and they don't draft in time, I mean, can we see a situation where some shadiness goes on?
You could, but let's keep it real.
That's real.
I know, but let me just say, let's keep this real. We all know how the draft works. You got three teams that are always going to do something stupid in the draft. Cincinnati,
Cleveland,
and the New York Giants.
Right.
All three of them always gonna do something dumb in the draft. Everybody knows that.
So you don't got to tamper with them.
You ain't got to worry about it. I mean, for the most part, the draft is going to go like it's supposed to go.
Right.
I mean, it's every now and then. One of them three going to do something stupid. Probably already have. Cleveland probably traded away their first pick. Or not Cleveland, but Cincinnati. Probably done already traded away their first pick to somebody. So, and other than that, though, the draft is going to go. It's not like it's going to be that big of a disruption, is my point.
Right.
And especially in a draft like this, because for the most part, you got a whole lot of good receivers in this draft. You got, probably 3 quarterbacks that's going to go in the first round. It's a very predictable draft, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, again, somebody do something stupid to mess it up, like whoever had that number 2 pick. If Cincinnati's going to take your boy from LSU,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
and then they don't get Chase Young second,
Washington.
that could disrupt everything. That's just a linchpin, and once it falls, it can go anyway. Who knows?
Go ahead, Travis.
No, I was going to actually ask a question. So with this, everything that's going on, and just the fact that they can't be together, this draft specifically is going to show, who has the best scouting department and who has the best ability to.
I disagree.
Look at tape. You think so?
Yeah.
Because they can't go to do physicals with these college
I
players.
don't give a damn how good your scouting department is. Your scouts could have gone out there and said Joe Burrow's the best quarterback, best player, whatever. If whoever's doing the damn pick picks Chase Young, then how does that show how good your scouting department is?
Well,
If you take Chase Young and they said to take Joe Burrow, is my point, that doesn't have anything to do with it. You still got to pick them.
Right.
You still have to pick them properly, because a lot of times, like I said, it's not. I mean, we got Todd McShay, we got Mel Kiper, we got all these so-called experts up there. They're like, I still don't know why somebody hasn't taken Joe Brown. He's the best player. They're crazy. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's what my point is that I don't see how you can say it's going to determine who has the best scouting department. I think it's going to be who addresses the needs that they need on the team. I mean, the bottom line is that, Cleveland has, how many times have they drafted a quarterback, number 1, over and over? And also, does that mean they have a bad scouting department? Mm-hmm. It could be the scouting department's like, dude, why are y'all taking him? We got 3 quarterbacks already.
Right.
They were number 1 picks. But leave it to Cleveland. They'll probably pick another quarterback this year.
So go ahead. What's your rebuttal to that?
So you're basically discounting the scouting combine, not the scouting combine, but the scouting department of a team. So you're saying that teams don't care about what the scouting you have.
Yeah,
scouts.
I'm saying some teams don't care because apparently they keep picking the same thing over and over again. So I mean, how could you say that it's going to show how good? For instance, let's just say Cincinnati chooses 3 quarterbacks. They choose one in the first round, the second round, and the third. But let's say they did. But wait a minute. Let's say they did. What would you say about their scouting department? Can you tell if they have a good scouting department or not? No, because they're idiots by the way that they chose.
I would say the owner and the general manager is an idiot.
That's my point.
But
that's
they're not
my
going
point.
to take 3 quarterbacks.
But that doesn't have
that's
anything
an insane argument.
No, it's not an insane argument because number 1, they might take 3 quarterbacks, dumb as they are. But number 2,
team's going to do that.
But number 2, my whole point is that it doesn't matter if you have a great bunch of scouts and everything if the idiot picking isn't listening to what they're telling him. That's the bottom line.
And I get that. But the scouting department is a chunk, is a part of that draft. If you have a terrible scouting department and you, as the scouting department, is saying, I could use the opposite. My argument is that if they see one great player A,
okay,
and
they're not listening,
go ahead. And the head coach isn't listening to them,
mm-hmm.
then it makes your scouting. I get that. But what if the scouting department likes player B, but player B's terrible, but they're so bad at scouting, and then the coach picks player B? Who's that fall on?
Okay,
that falls on the scouts and the head coach, but mainly the scouts because they've told them to pick them, and they work together when picking.
This is my thing. Let's say I'm the guy who picking, whether I'm the owner, GM, whoever, and I'm sitting at number 3, and they pass on Chase Young,
Right.
and I say, okay, who do y'all want to get? And he said, well, hey, we need to get Tom Jones,
right.
the tackle. That was who we've done all this data, everything. We talked to his first grade teacher and all that. We talked to this pastor. Tom Jones is our guy. We've already talked about this.
Right.
I'm like, y'all crazy as hell. I'm getting Chase Young because these other jackasses didn't pick him.
Well, here's my question to Travis on it too. You're saying this will show of who has a really good scouting department. What will change for the scouting department that they can't do already?
Because they can't right now on a regular draft. The scouts are out there right now doing drills with these prospective draftees.
Okay.
They're getting their medicals. They're
But
talking
every
to
scout
them.
across the board has that same restraints, right? Like, this isn't like the Cleveland Browns can see all their medical lists and these guys cannot.
No, I get that. But right now, before the draft, you can still go out and do
But that's
that
my
right
point.
now.
Is like everybody's equal across the board. So what
Everybody's
changes
still
for the
doing it.
scouting? Everybody's the same information. So if you're a good scouter before all of this, and you have all this information, and you make decisions based off of that, and if you're a bad scouter, you have all this information, you make the decision, and you make bad choices. You still have the same information. You have different information, but you have information, and part of your job as a scout is to look at the information and make decisions.
Right.
So would that not change with the scouting department? So I guess my argument is a good scouting department, no matter what the confines are, still going to make good decisions.
Okay.
A bad one's still going to make bad decisions, no matter what the situation is. So are you saying that this situation could change a good scouting department to being bad, and a bad one to being good?
No, I'm saying that.
But then what are we talking about then? If you're saying no to that, because then if they're good, they're good. They're going to find everybody the same information. So that's what I'm asking.
No, I don't think everyone has the same information. How many times do we have in the draft? There's always one player in a draft, okay, that has some type of questionable medical. He hurt his knee in college, he hurt his foot, whatever. He's got some type of questionable issue.
Right.
There's teams that take him off the board, or he had a bad, what is considered a quote unquote a bad attitude. There are teams that take him that we don't want that guy.
But they still could do that.
But they're scouting that player, and they choose to say we don't want him because of X. And there are other ones.
But I'm saying, like, okay, so I don't have his medical, but I know he has injury history in college. Okay, as a scout, that I typically say, depending on the injury, I don't want to touch it. I'm just going to say, well, since I can't get the medical on him, I'm taking him off my board initially.
But
I agree.
You can't. Scouts can do a recheck right now, or they would have been able to do a recheck. You can't. Do
I
that
get
right
everything you're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm saying again, if you're a good scout, you still take the information you have and you make a decision. Once again, I ask you, are you saying, because the only way your argument's working is you're saying that good scouts can start making bad decisions because of a lack of information, and bad scouts can start making good decisions based on a lack of information.
That was the whole hypothesis that you were trying to say. I
Right.
thought, because you were like, okay, this is gonna show who's really got good scouting department.
Right.
So they're not gonna be able to hide this time.
Right. So if it's not going to change, good scouts are still going to be good scouts, and bad ones can still be bad ones. I think the baseline information is the same. Like, I don't see where what are we arguing about? What's the question here? Just you think that now the good scouts are really going to be better scouts?
What I'm saying is, if everyone's got the same information as you're claiming, if everyone's got the same information, then picking of those players, all the players, the scouts that are able to look at that information and read into, what they need for the team and see what's going on, they're going to be able to decipher, maybe this player isn't as good as what everyone thinks. Or this player is a better player than what people think, and we can, get him now or later.
But
Right.
but what you're saying is that, like you've all alluded to, everybody has the same data. It's the interpretation of the data. I mean, at the end of the day, is what's going to determine whether a scout is good or whatever. Because bottom line is that,
Again, what's the scout?
because at the end of the day, I can sit here with the data and say, okay, this guy has 40 yards per pass average. But when I looked at the data, I saw him throwing the ball to somebody at 1 yard, and that joker ran for 41.
Right.
And that's how he getting a lot of this stuff. He's not really that good. I'm seeing a quarterback that throws a bunch of 1 yard passes and all yards are rack, run after catch and all that other stuff. And that's how he's getting these big numbers.
I think
so it's the interpretation.
Right. I think
of
we
the
want to
data.
stick a pin in this, and I think off mic we need to make a list of the scouting departments in the NFL that we think are really good, the ones that we think are porous, and then after the draft, see if it was any shifting. And I think that's the only way you could prove your argument, to see was any shifting, because I think if the baseline is the same.
But the only way you're gonna be able to rank these guys by
It's
doing that.
years and years,
But not only that, it's by looking at the results of the draft.
Yeah.
And seeing like who did they take.
Right.
You know, like there was an argument today about should they have not taken Baker Mayfield #1 last year, Cleveland. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
And the bottom line is that, you know, I mean, who's gonna make that decision?
So I asked who will have the worst draft: Browns, Bengals, and a combination of the Giants, Redskins, and Lions. The Browns won by 56%.
Yep.
Coach, I think you were still even for if you're a senior. And would you be fine with an empty arena for sports? 67% said no.
Thank you.
But even though people say this, I guarantee you if they did it, I think all of us would watch.
Oh, we watch. I would watch it. I'm not gonna sit there and say I wouldn't watch it.
And Jerry said I should put up a vote for how many of us think that coach has lost his mind. AB had a new agent.
Well,
we're just going to say
you
that.
don't understand his mind. That's what that is. That's all that is.
Cam Newton holding out for a starting job. Do you think he is? You think he's not?
Oh, he is. They talked about.
Oh,
that.
so they came out.
Oh, he
for a starting job?
he has come out and said his agent has said we're not looking for any team right now. He said we're not about to go out there and try to go sit and find out who wants to bring him on as a backup and all. They're like, man, y'all lost your mind.
Do you think he's doing that right?
They're like, well, I mean,
I know earned is a very weird word to use that. Let me say, do you think his resume has allowed him to have that kind of perspective?
I think that a weak NFL at the quarterback position especially has earned him the right to be able to do that. Because I agree that I think that off the rip, you know, he has a more talents than a lot of the quarterbacks in the league who are starting right now.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I agree with them that, you know, I'm going to use Lamar Jackson.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even from a Lamar Jackson standpoint, I think that Cam has shown and has a larger resume to show that he's a better passer and you know, and not maybe an equal runner by speed, but definitely a better than average runner to be able to give Lamar Jackson a run for the money as far as being a starter at that position.
In the end, the proof is in the pudding. The player still has to perform up to the scouting on the field. I think Terry summed that up very beautifully.
There you go.
In that argument there. Travis, you think Cam, yes, no, that his resume should allow him to make that statement and feel comfortable with that?
To be a starter, yeah, I think so. Let's face it, he led a team to a Super Bowl. I know they didn't win, but he was the quarterback. He's better than multiple quarterbacks right now that are starters, so I got no problem with it. He's confident in what he's worth, and at least what he thinks he's worth.
Right.
Go for it.
So I will say the same thing. I do not think his resume warrants him to presume to be a starter, and that's why I use the word resume, because you know, especially you, coach, you know better than I know the stuff that comes with him when he comes to your team.
You know I don't like him.
I know, I'm just saying, but you know the stuff that comes with him. So part of that resume is the press conferences.
Right.
Yeah.
Part of that resume is a woman reporter asking him a question.
Yeah.
Part of that resume comes the outfits. Part of that resume comes the entourage.
I got you.
Part of that resume comes into a situation that, say, you have a 31-year-old Cam, because he'll be 31 in May.
Okay.
So starting the season, he'll be 31. You have uncertainties about his shoulder, because you haven't seen him. You'll probably have seen him throw, but we don't know until live pads are on and hitting. You have uncertainty about his shoulder. The last time you saw Cam, he had talent around him, and he looked more efficient in the first half of the season. By the second half, his completion percentage had dropped. He didn't look the same like the same quarterback. And then the last part of it is, you never want to be the guy that takes a guy, what is it, the saying you always say, like you say with Julio, you don't want to be the guy that takes the guy 2-3 years past the prime.
Yeah.
You want to be the guy that gets him 2-3 years in the prime.
I agree.
So if I'm going to go and pull him in as a starter, I don't have any guarantees that, one, we know what the actor's going to come with it, but is he able to still play at a high level? Is that MVP Cam from 2015? That's 5 years ago, guys. Yeah. Just say that out loud. 2015, Cam Newton was the MVP. I feel like at this point, you're on a prove it deal. It's the same thing that I said that we talked about with Kaepernick. You're on a prove it now. Granted, Cam's accomplishments are way past what Kaepernick's was, but you're going to prove it. You need to come in and play and perform and prove that you can still play at a high level.
I'm with you.
Because I don't know if he can. And so when I say his resume, I'm taking all of the stuff. It'd be different if he was a great teammate and he was a great lead and all these great characteristics, and maybe you have questions about his on-field play.
Right.
I'd say, yeah, bring him in as a starter, because if he doesn't pan out, I know he could be a good backup and help our team win. you know, if you're bringing Cam ain't Cam about Cam.
Yeah, he'll be over there talking about you while you over there throwing dimes out there. Look at him.
He'll be critiquing.
You know, ain't nothing coming but hate after them 3 words.
He'll be talking about how the other guy dresses.
You hear a black man say, "Look at him," ain't but nothing but hate coming after them
Right.
3 words. Look at him.
Ms. PB, yes, I got diagnosed with asthma, so I'm dealing with that's why I got the atomizer. So usually when I'm coughing, I'm supposed to take it, but I try to power through it for the show. Yes, Terry, Cam did look disinterested, extremely. It's too much money involved for the owners to take that chance, exactly, on Cam going there. So yeah, I feel like his resume has not earned him a right to be a starter. I think it's earned him the right to get on a team and prove that he can be a team player and earn the starting gig.
I'm agreeing with you,
Yeah.
but we're not talking about what's real. We talking about what's in Cam's mind and
Yeah.
what's in his agent's
that's
mind.
a good point. That's a good
and
point.
him and his agent have looked around the league and said, "Shit,
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
thank you,
Drew
thank
Lock?
you,
Ryan Tannehill.
thank you." I mean, it's plenty of spots out here. Matt Ryan.
Tyrod Taylor?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Hey,
I'm trying to tell you.
OJ, you better. OJ hate Matt Ryan too. Damn, I'm gonna say OJ, you better
He
get
know.
him.
He know.
I put up the should Cam be a starter in the NFL. 57% currently say no. So we'll put a pin in that.
That's
We'll
y'all
look at
straight hate now. That's my department. Y'all don't hate like that on Cam. That's what I do. That's wrong right there.
So I feel like on this part of it, let's kind of round up, and we're going to end the show a little early today. And like I said earlier, I want to end it a little earlier because we want to film some more content so we can put out onto the site over the next couple of weeks. So even though we're not doing fully live shows, we will still be giving you content and updating from week's habits and etc. I'll start with Travis, and I'll go, then Coach, you'll finish because I feel like you always have the best words to finish things. But how has this lock-in, quarantine, and everything shutting down, how has it changed your perspective on what sports means to our society, for better or for worse? So I know that's a kind of loaded question, so I'll start, Travis, to give you time to think about it, and then we'll go to you, Travis, and we'll go for Coach. I will say for me, sports has shown what everybody talked to me about, how sports is the great uniter, and I've always felt like it was always a racial component in that statement. I feel like with everything being shut down, they're right. I've learned to realize that's correct. Sports is the great uniter because you know what? No matter what, who you root for, color, creed, religion, etc. When there's no sports on, there's nothing for me to even broach you with a conversation about. When I see you wearing a Browns hat, or I see you wearing a Giants hat, something I can say, "Oh man, you a Browns fan? Oh man, they're terrible."
Atlanta United.
I don't now. I can say that to you, but it's really gonna be like, "Oh, well, we're having a tough year." Like it's nothing to talk about coming for the new season, or with basketball being shut down. I can't go and say, "Oh, these Laker fans are delusional. Think they're gonna win a championship with LeBron." Like we're losing a part of what our social aspect was with sports, and I never realized how many conversations I have with people that have started with sports but ended with business. Started with sports, ended with family. Started with sports, ended with dreams and aspirations. So for me, I think the biggest thing I've noticed with lack of sports is a social component of the intermingling that I was used to kind of got taken away from me, and I never realized how important it was. That's why I'm so excited to come here today and talk sports, because there's nobody else to talk to about. So I think that's what I've learned from this whole situation when it comes to sports being shut down.
Yeah, and similar, I agree with everything, but also, you know, it's you know, it just like you said, it's an easy icebreaker conversation. Hey, what NFL team do you root for? Hey, what baseball team? Whatever, because you can, you know, everyone's got a team, college football, something like that, and you can start that, so it unites everyone. It's an outlet also for people to, you know, if they're having a bad day, bad week or something, they can go watch a game and not have to worry about what's going on with, you know, any type of problems that they have, whether it be, you know, family, job, you know, whatever, health problems, anything like that. It's something easy and fun and entertaining that they can sit down and watch whatever it is that they want to watch. And there's so many options out there that, you know, there's always something that you can watch, you know, or somebody could watch, that they can find something to watch as an outlet for.
All right, Coach.
For me, you know, just kind of piggybacking off some of the things that you guys said, but sports is the great escape. Sports is a way of allowing, us to get away from the daily grind. You had a bad week at work. It's been a tough week for you, both personally, professionally, whatever the case may be. And now you're able to watch that game on Sunday, and it makes you feel good.
Yep. Right.
Whether you win, lose, whatever, a lot of teams like Travis follows, you lose all the time, you're at least able to talk about how you almost got there.
Right.
I mean, that's always the conversation after the game is how we almost made it. The Cincinnati hand grenades. You always, all you got to do is be close. That kind of thing. Everybody's happy, just be close. And that's what it is to me, because I can't tell you, like I heard you say, Jason, how many conversations I've started with strangers. I mean, total strangers. Like, I'm sitting there waiting on an Uber at the airport, and I see a guy wearing a Falcon hat, and I'm like, dude, you mighty brave to be wearing that hat.
You ain't sitting at the big lot yet?
And that just starts a conversation.
Right.
And so like I said, having played sports and whatnot, I know I've had so many people come up to me and say, God, I love watching you play. I mean, you give your all out there, and fans appreciate that. They like that guy giving his everything, and they'll come up to you too and say, dude, you suck. I've seen some guys told that because they weren't giving their all. And so, I mean, because you can't fool a fan. You can't fool a true fan, because true fans know when you're just out there trying to get a paycheck because you got your hand on your hip when you get ready to pass rush.
Oh, here you go.
Or whatever the case may be.
You can't leave Big Easy out of this, huh?
They know when you are not giving your all. So with that being said, I learned through this that we need sports. And I have to agree with whatever his number he is, 47 or 40, whatever his number is. Old Trump said the other day, we need it. We need 45. We need our guys to be back out there. We need people to be playing. We need them to come back.
Right.
And so he's pulling for the NFL draft to go on as scheduled, and at least try to get some resemblance of normal back for us, because it's very abnormal. I mean, we got a whole TV network dedicated to sports.
Right.
I mean, everybody used to think that was the craziest thing. How they gonna have programming 24/7 when all they talking about is sports? And now a lot of us can't live without it.
Right.
Because I'm
Plays in the background when we're just doing regular stuff.
I'm conditioned to turning my TV in whenever I turn it on, and I start there, and then I work my way back. And I still do that. And they're trying their best, but like I said, we need sports. I mean, we definitely need sports. I am going to take 2 minutes to say a very personal thing that I need to say. My mother passed away on April 2nd, and I call her my mother. Brad Davis and Terry Davis, they're on here tonight. They're always on here because they are part of my family. And we have been a family for dang near 50 years. And so Brad's mom, which is my mom, passed away on April 2nd. And I have been impacted immensely by it. I normally am able to sum up the words and write poetry about things of this nature. It normally just kind of comes to me very easily. I don't force it. I let it come to me, and I'm always able to within maybe 24 hours. It took me about 4 days to be able to summon the words that I wanted to write about my dear mother. I'm trying to take comfort in the fact that I am a Christian, and that I do believe in the after, and I do believe in the promise that Jesus Christ made us, and I do believe that she is now in heaven with my father, her husband, and that I will see both of them again one day. Absolutely. And so I will continue to cling to that, and I want to wish my mother a happy rest in heaven, and wish my family condolences as we all try to get over this great loss. So thank you guys for giving me a moment to say that.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Want to take a couple, maybe 10 seconds, moment of silence for your mother?
Absolutely. For sure.
Starting now. All right. And I know a lot of people have lost. I know the Peavies had losses in their family recently. I know me and you especially suffered a loss of one of our best friends as well.
Yes.
Guys, definitely be safe out here. And I know some of the changes we're making to the show is to keep us safe as well, because I know you guys would feel bad if something happened to one of us, but, definitely take all this serious. Be safe out there. It is very important. So some people that showed up probably late to the show, I did mention at the beginning, this will be the last time for a while that we will all be live in studio together. Yep. We're going to start doing our show on Zoom and recording it and then just posting it on Monday between 8 to 8:30. I'm going to try to shoot for 8 o'clock so we can keep the show feeling the same and similar. Some of the Zoom, we will send out some of the links so some people will be able to join us. If they choose to want to join us, we'll do that as well so we can still make the show interactive as much as possible as we can. But because of this change, we are really going to flood our YouTube market with a lot of content and our Instagram a lot of content. So you'll get some things where Coach or Travis or myself may talk about a random topic of the day, give our thoughts, and then Coach may respond or Travis may respond through there.
Sure.
We also, why we're ending the show a little earlier is because we're going to film a bunch of content to start putting out all throughout the week as well. So some things like with the new segment, Coach Listens, we have a bunch of songs that Coach listened to that we're going to put out there. Some talks about quarterbacks in the era for quarterbacks, steroid use. We have just a lot of stuff that isn't specific to the time now, but just things you can listen to get your kind of fix from straight from the hip. So please keep rocking with us. We appreciate it. We love our fans. We love all you guys that listen to us. And I know we keep killing us about the shirts.
I don't like Jerry.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the Goodsons. You gotta add that.
Oh, and the Goodsons. Jerry and the Goodsons.
So please keep rocking with us. Please seeing our content. When you get on, I put everything up there, our Instagram information, our email address, our YouTube. I didn't put our email up there because there may be some questions that you watch the show that you want to ask. Or, hey, I got a topic I think I want you guys to do something with. And that's as simple as me getting it, and I can get them on a horn, and we can do a real quick impromptu answer to a question or topic. Also, if you have your tape for your children to want us to review the tape.
Yes.
One of the biggest things, and I'm more of a second fiddle when it comes to the tape review compared to Coach, but the recent one we did with the young gentleman Carlos and his father Del Dino, Facebook messaged us back and said, thank you for our feedback. He even updated the tape to reflect some of the stuff that Coach said should be fixed. I know the Peavies had done something similar to that. Israel, Mr. and Mrs. Soto, they had done some stuff for Edwin similar to that. So we love that thing, but I thought also, like I told everybody, that's free information.
Yeah.
That's something that you're not going to think about until you're wondering, hey, why did the coach, X, Y, and Z? And you can do some simple fixes that attach that coach, gets them intrigued with your tape, and maybe get you some better offers, especially what's going on now with the seasons maybe up in the air.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's going to happen. You want to make sure that everybody's trump tight. So if you want to send your kids' tape in for Coach to review, send the tape in with his or her photo, and then put the information, height, weight, GPA, and etc. We would love to review it and get that content to you as well. Other than that, again, thank you guys for keeping with us. And
folks, we really appreciate y'all. We do this for you guys, so we appreciate it, and we look forward to continuing to do this for a long time.
Absolutely.
So, good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the hip. Sorry, Jerry, I didn't put up your poll if Coach is crazy or not.